Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters.
So real quick, guys, the Democrat Party, the party that brings you the policy, the robust policy propositions of abortion, putting men in women's spaces like sports and the bathrooms, the worst inflation in a generation, cancel culture with purity test, unprecedented lawfare against their political opponents like Donald Trump arresting presidents, finding crimes, white collar crimes that they are clearly guilty of doing as well. Political violence when they lose. They brag about the protests that happened when Donald Trump is in office. And if we didn't want people killed and we don't want violence, then we shouldn't have elected Donald Trump. These are clearly fascist monsters. Their approval rating is in the tank. They have really nothing to say other than Trump bad, Trump bad. Crime, who the American people trust on crime, the GOP is up 23 points. On the economy, they're up 19 points. On immigration, they're only up 1 point, but that's a lot of propaganda. Election integrity, Democrats are up by 6, which is a joke. Abortion, Democrats are up 17. That's what they offer. They offer election integrity by a party that cheats their own party and skips democracy whenever they elect their candidates, but they're good for election integrity, guys. Don't worry. Anyway, AOC wanted to make fun of Stephen Miller and talk about how he is a just you have to hear this. You have to hear this. The anger and the delusion from her is absolute peak. And this is going to be a quick one, dude. Let's just see AOC say what she thinks about the Republican Party and what their policy agendas are versus what I just explained to you, what they offer.
Is that they are scrapping and grasping at straws because they have nothing else. Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen that guy in real life, but he looks like he's like 4'10", and he looks like he is angry about the fact that he's 4'10", and he looks like he is so mad that he is 4'10", that he's taking that anger out at any other population possible. Like, laugh at them. Laugh at them. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, we're here to be strong for one another.
So let's get this right. A woman who is 5'3" or 5'4" is body shaming, which is strange coming from the left. A man who is 5'10", when the international average for men's height for the entire world is 5'7". So he's 3 inches taller than the average men across the world, which is he's almost 6 foot tall. What is she talking about? She's estimating his height to be an entire foot shorter than what he actually is, and saying he has short man energy, and that's why he is the way he is. He's just this is what the left does. Just because he argues really well and articulates his points and his agendas and his policy very well, and you can't dispute any of his policy positions, and you can't debate him in any way, shape, or form, what did they go to? They immediately go to make fun of them, guys. Make fun of them for being short. Make fun of them for, not being able to give you any policy agenda things that they want to do. Do that to them. When I just showed you, the Democrats have no policy. They haven't talked about shit for years. They have nothing to offer you except for we hate Trump, Trump bad. Aren't they fascists? You don't want a fascist, do you? Just give us power. Oh, what are you going to do for us? We're going to stop them. That's what we're going to do. And she has the balls to go on TV and say, you know what we need to do? Our next tactic is going to be, let's make fun of them for not having good policy. Let's make fun of them for not even having any policy at all to offer the country. Let's make fun. Like, that's a policy. Again, you're engaged in not creating good policy for the American people by saying your policy is going to be making fun of the other side for not having good policy. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is happening? These people are so fucking stupid. I'm losing my mind here. Let's just see a little bit of Stephen Miller and what he had to say. Stephen Miller is a boss. I don't care what you say. You can't argue with this dude. Everything he says is factual, just common sense, and he just gives it to you, and he does not hold back. This is what she was mad about. She was mad about him going on CNN and absolutely embarrassing this dude. What she's referring to as short man energy, which he's not even short, is just a very articulate, strong man that has convictions, has principles, and knows how to articulate how he feels and his plan for things. He's just a boss. You're just mad he's a boss. This isn't short man energy, this is boss energy. She is just mad that everything that he says is correct and factual, and she can't dispute any of it, so she has to go to personal attacks. Again, the Democrats have nothing for you.
Democratic president someday calls the National Guard to a red state over what they see as open rebellion, but is what amounts to a demonstration that gets rowdy. I mean, is that not a
and
fear
they're
of
posting
yours?
pictures of their kids because it's a demonstration, and they have a sniper on top of a building firing a high-caliber rifle at a nice facility because it's a demonstration, and they are engaging in vehicle ramming
But the
attacks,
National Guard isn't being sent to Texas.
because it's a
The National Guard
demonstration.
isn't being sent to Dallas, where that sniper was.
Because the Dallas Police Department and the governor of Texas, well, you walked right into that one, have responded to every call for assistance and help. They gave a stand-down order in Chicago, and they gave a stand-down order in Portland.
So we had an election, okay? Elections have consequences. The popular vote in the Electoral College went to Donald Trump and the Republicans in an absolute landslide that destroyed the Democrats. It delivered a mandate to President Trump to do everything that he's doing. Then the Democrats pretended that they are going to honor the election and not fight it and try to do what Donald Trump did and create an insurrection like January 6th, where a bunch of guys just basically took a tour around the Capitol building in a single file line in most scenarios. With some bad actors where bad things happen, I'm not going to talk about it. It's really irrelevant. It's nothing compared to what they do. Then AOC, one of the top leaders of the Democrat Party right now, and there's no doubt about it that she is claiming that the Republicans have nothing to offer Americans except for everything that they offered us that we gave them the full mandate to perform. And what the Democrats are going to now offer is resisting what everything was voted for that the Americans wanted. So not only did they offer us nothing for the election, and that's why they lost, but what we did want the Republicans were offering us, they're going to stop that from happening by any means necessary with political violence. Then Stephen Miller is pointing out that everything that these left-wing cities are doing and these Democrat leaders are doing, I mean, it really does. He should enact the Insurrection Act. This is what it's for. These people are stopping what the American electorate wants. It's what we voted for, and they're not allowing us. They're not allowing us to do it. Then on top of that, they want to pretend like nothing's going on in Chicago. They're not doing anything wrong. They don't know why ICE is complaining so much and why the National Guard's being sent. The reason the National Guard has to go is whenever the local police and the local authorities, the Democrats, will not help ICE and will not protect ICE and will not stop the local crime that's being committed. The local crimes of obstruction and assault on federal officers. The local police have been given stand down orders, so Trump has no choice but to send a National Guard to protect the federal officers and the federal buildings. It's not commie postatatis where they are enacting local and state laws. They are coming to protect the feds because why? Because the Democrats are giving stand down orders to the local police, so ICE has nowhere to turn. Their backs are against the wall. They're being barricaded in. They're being attacked. They're being blockaded, and then people are getting out of the cars with weapons, threatening them. It's absolutely disgusting, guys. This is an insurrection, and if you don't believe me, here's the proof.
Evidence emerges confirming Chicago police were ordered not to assist federal agents that were cornered and surrounded by rider vehicles. A subsequent shooting occurred after a rider brandished an automatic weapon during the blockade. Now, I'm not sure if it was an automatic. I think it was semi-automatic, so let's just correct that on the record. But as you'll see right over here, it says caller is one of approximately 30 armed Border Patrol agents, ICE, who are being surrounded by a large crowd of people and requesting CPD.
Now, when that woman was shot in Chicago after 10 cars barricaded in the ICE agents, every liberal mainstream media news station ran the story, and they said whenever ICE agents left their facility to confront protesters, this is what broke out. Every single story ran and said that ICE was confronting protesters when it clearly says approximately 30 armed border control agents who are being surrounded by a large crowd. Dude, it's the propaganda is so thick right now, dude.
So that's the request from ICE agents who are being attacked and ambushed. And then what looks to be roughly 6 minutes later, Chief of Patrol, no units will respond to this. We've also got a leaked dispatch audio, which again confirms what we're talking about here.
Any kind of particular hairstyle, just younger male Hispanic on foot wearing all black. And one is for the hit and run. This guy fled from the scene at 37th Place in Kedzie. It all started at I-55 in Kedzie. Then they fled southbound at Kedzie, where that offending vehicle crashed. They ran the federal agent off the road. They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing.
Send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please. For the Chief of Patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Radio check. And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that per 999. Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
And then we clutch our pearls that the ICE agents have to defend themselves and open fire on citizens or non-citizens or whoever the hell it is out there. Back to Stephen Miller absolutely destroying this guy, scorched earth. Not to mention, again, guys, this is why the National Guard not only is necessary, but it's very easily articulated on why it needs to be done. It's just
Under federal law, Section Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has the authority anytime he believes federal resources are insufficient to federalize the National Guard to carry out a mission necessary for public safety. So it's important to understand that in Portland, ICE officers have been subjected to over 100 nights of terrorist assault, doxing, murder threats, violent attack, and every other means imaginable to try to overturn the results of the last election through violence. The most important point I want to make today is that the number 1 and 2 items in the GOP platform in 2024 were to turn back the border invasion and carry out the largest deportation program in American history. Since Inauguration Day, there's been an orchestrated campaign of terrorism and violence against ICE officers. Of course, we saw the recent sniper attack against ICE officers. They're publishing their families' photos online. They're threatening them with murder, they're threatening them with death, and they're physically attacking them in the street each and every day. And yet, shamefully, the mayor and governor in Portland and Oregon have refused to render aid, leaving ICE officers to street fight every single night against these terrorists.
You make the claim of terrorist assaults and violence attack over 100 nights, and yet the judge overseeing this case says that that's untethered from reality. And local officials on the ground say that Trump's assertion of what's happening in Portland, that it's war-ravaged and burning to the ground, is far from true. I looked at the police data, and police have made something like 70 total arrests since June. And there are no reports of buildings being burned to the ground. The White House cited a guillotine being rolled out as like a public display of rebellion, but there isn't actually a threat that these demonstrators are going to overthrow the government. Are you concerned that that response weakens your legal argument?
So just remember, January 6th was a few-hour period where a bunch of unarmed protesters showed up. Okay, and yeah, I think some parts of it got a little bit rowdy where cops were pushing back and forth and some cops got pushed on the ground. We don't condone any of that. You should never attack law enforcement ever, but none of it reached the level of, really, no one got killed except for one on the Republican side. And then whenever Daddy Trump said, "Hey guys, this is going too far. We can't have violence. We need rule of law. I want you all to go home. I'm very sad. We know we all got ripped off. Just please go home because we need to respect our law enforcement and not have any problems." There's videos of the protesters walking through single file velvet rope designated areas to walk through the Capitol to be respectful because those people love America and love the nostalgic artwork and everything that's inside there, and they didn't want to destroy any of it. They shouldn't have went into the building. There was 275 undercover plainclothes FBI agents in there pushing people forward to go into there, breaking windows, say, yeah, go ahead in there. You saw the arguments, people go, no, don't go in there. And then the FBI undercover agents getting mad, trying to make people go inside. It was a very strangely orchestrated event on January 6th. But when Daddy Trump said, hey, all my supporters, it's time to go home. This is getting out of control. People are getting injured. I need you to go home in peace. And then all those people from the MAGA side turned around and went home. They stopped any of the nonsense they were doing, and they just went home. They weren't trying to overthrow the government. They were there to support Trump in case he had a way to stop or delay the inspection, to do some more vote counts and do some things like that, just to show. It's basically was like signing a petition, except in real life, in person at the Capitol. And yeah, we shouldn't have went inside the Capitol. Police should not have been pushed and shoved around or anything. Those things shouldn't have happened, but large crowds, bad things happen. But whenever they were asked to go home after just a couple hours in an afternoon, they turned around and went home without incident. Now, we have Trump gets elected, and since inauguration, we have over 100 nights of violent attacks in multiple cities across the country where the mandated policies that need to be enacted as per the constituents voting for it in the election, the Democrat liberal, the violent arm of the Democrat Party, Antifa, BLM, and these other rioters and crazy unhinged people have been impeding what the mandate is. They've been attacking. They're showing up at federal buildings with weapons. They're trying to stop what the federal government has implemented based on the votes by the American people. If January 6th was an insurrection that lasted 3 hours and everyone just went home afterwards, and when they were unarmed and didn't really do anything to change policy whatsoever at all, but these people are actively stopping policy from being enacted, armed, obstructing, and attacking, and forcing this policy not to be able to go through with, and they're trying to stop the government and change what the government is doing with these things. The J6 was just about the election and the process of the election being very shaky, and it was. Everyone has to agree that it was. This is about, hey, you're going to enact policies that we don't like. The other side voted for it and won because there was more of them than there is us, but we're still mad about it and think we should get our way. We're going to come armed, stop, attack, blow your tires out, do whatever we have to do, blow up your building, shoot sniper rifles into the building to stop you. That's not an insurrection, guys. Over 100 days of that bullshit, not to mention the last time they did this shit for an entire summer during the Summer of Love. That's not an insurrection. That's not them trying to overthrow the government. He just said, do you really think they were really going to overthrow the government? Dude, they're trying to. You thought January 6th that's what was happening. What the hell do you think this is? Unbelievable.
Is it the case that, as Pritzker frames it, you are profiling brown people, that this immigration crackdown is designed to go after people of color?
It's such a, oh, what a dumb question. The illegal aliens who are here are taking jobs away from blacks, they're taking jobs away from whites, they're taking jobs away from Latinos, they're taking their health benefits away, they're taking their school slots away, and of course in many cases they're committing heinous crimes. We cannot have a system of law in this country that privileges illegal aliens over American citizens, and that's what they're doing. You know it, and I know it.
So that's not exactly a no, Stephen. Can you just unequivocally state that the immigration policy... I said it's a dumb question. Okay.
Well,
I appreciate
no,
that, but
and it's a dumb question.
So no, this policy is not designed to... I thought when I said it was a dumb question, it meant no. Well, I just want to be clear and precise. I appreciate you trying to qualify my questions, but nevertheless, I think it's a fair one that a lot of people have.
My full answer is no, that is a lie, and it's a dumb question.
Fuck yeah!